We're very fortunate today to have with us Ms. Shanlin Lee, Managing Director of Shine Services Private Limited, as well as our current President. Madam President is going to share with us some of her experience in looking at computational logic for the kids. So, Ms. Lee, may I hand the mic over to you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I'm going to share my slide first before I start. Okay, here we go. Well, hello everyone. I'm Shanlin Lee, the MD for Shine Services. I'm very honored to be here to share with you guys what Shine Services is actually doing. Okay, now these are some of the photos that we have taken during the classes and also the roadshows and events. Okay, now let's take a look at the changes in the future society. Now, starting from the agrarian society, planting crops, farmland, followed by the industrial society, which automation and mass production take place, and it really focused on memory work and lecture stuff, right? And then now let's look at information and knowledge society. Now, information and knowledge society focus really in standardizations and knowledge base. Next, moving to the creative-based society. It's flexible, creative, now combine knowledge together and evolving in creative base. Okay, and these are the changes in the current future society. Now, let's focus for the future, kids preparing for the future, and what we have learned from Korea, where they had start coding classes for elementary, grade 1 and grade 2 and preschools. These are the current curriculum for the schools in Korea. Okay, all students from primary schools all the way to high schools are learning coding, and currently coding is compulsory as a education since 2018. Okay, now here are more details from primary schools on computation thinking, to middle school on understanding computer languages, to high school on programming projects. Now, the objective here is really to cultivate creative convergence of the talented with computational thinking. Okay, what do they learn in Korea? Plug and unplug computing, to EPL, educational programming language, for the schools that is designed mostly as an instrument for learning, for writing programs, to physical computing on building interactive physical systems by the use of software and hardware that can sense and respond to the analog world, getting the students involved in projects for the real world, and followed by the convergence computing, which when they were here to solve problems in the real world. Okay. Now let's look at the 4 skills needed for the 21st century. Okay, from creator to collaborator to communicator to critical thinker are all considered the 4 C's, and all skills that are needed in order to succeed in today's world. Not only are these skills important to have on their own, but by combining all these skills, students are empowered to solve their own problems, work together, and come up with solutions. It is important to encourage development in all of these areas to help set your child up for success in school and their future workplace. Now, creative, producing in high quality work, try new approaches to solve the problems. Collaboration, working with others together to reach a common goal. Communication, understanding and communicating new ideas, sharing thoughts and questions. Now, last, critical thinking, looking and solving the problems in a new way. Okay, for preschools, we have created coding and play curriculum where we are trying to stimulate early thinking on computational thinking. So these are some of the examples that we have for level 1, from 4 years old, level 2 for 5 years old, and level 3 for 6 years old, and etc. Okay, these are some of the examples where we have plug and unplug programming. So for Unplug, we have activities which children will use stickers to display bridge in certain order and understanding the concept of sequence. Now, as for the plug activities, we have children experience sequential executing a computing idea by making the robot move in an orderly sequential manner. Okay, and these are some of the examples of the curriculum that we have, for example, learning your body, right? Okay, next, this is very exciting. Now, let me show you one of the project that we actually have one of our children working on it. And I'm going to share you a short video after this, okay? We wanted the kid to perform para parking, and we all know that para parking is a chore for some of us, right? Especially ladies. I mean, no offense. So we wanted the kid to perform, and there are mainly 4 steps to it. Okay. So first, as we all know, we need to park parallel to the car in front, and then turn left, turn right, and then straighten and centralize. And there, the kids will actually do and activate the program for the robot to do a para parking. Let me show you an example, and I'll share the video with you right now. Okay, simple, but yet the kids actually went through quite an effort to understand the logic of parking a car to parallel to the other car. So this is one thing which we actually have guided the kids on computational thinking. Now let me show you another one which is also very exciting. Besides kids that learn computation thinking now, it's not only for kids, and it also really involves the elderly, which are able to cultivate cognitive thinking. Okay, and it's also an opportunity to connect the young ones to the young ones. Let's take a look on what we have actually created for the elderly, which we actually brought them through a food journey. I'm going to show you the video again where the elderly actually what they do with the robots. Okay. Okay, looking at how the elderly was communicating with the caregivers by using the robots, on some of the steps they are trying to make and the journey that they go through together with the robots and the caregiver. Okay. Now, these are some of the activities that we have done with the kids and the elderly and what they're doing. And just now I have shared through the video as shown earlier on how the elderly explore the food journey by using computational logic. Okay, for the step in the future, we must understand the learning motivation. These are the 3 circles that are important for future learning. From learning motivations, to learning connections, to learning social circles, and right in the center, we have the virtual learning platform. We provide integrated learning community with relevant technology to fulfill their role in a personalized robotic learning model. Okay, I know everyone will have tried, right? But all the effort with the wrong tools will not get us any result. So it is important that we have the right platform, the right tool to help the young learner on computation logic. And that's what I have today. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, very interesting. I see that while you're trying to educate the young ones to do computational learning, I think that's not an easy task because to get them to think in a logical way to perform a task rather than on impulse, right? It's quite a chore. You have
Indeed.
actually taken the step further to help the elderlies go through that process. Um, I see that the elderlies have caregivers. Can I assume that they really will uh, want to achieve a need in any way? And why do you want to put the young and the old together using the same platform?
Okay, it's a challenge actually initially to try to get the elderly to come together and getting them to learn this particular technology or at least to cultivate their cognitive thinking. But with the patience and trying to explain to them, and I think the main objective, or at least the main thing that we're trying to put it here, is to actually narrow the intergeneration gap, and that actually also motivates the elderly to wanting to learn more. I mean, especially nowadays, elderly wanting to learn how to use Instagram, Facebook, and their main objective is to share and to at least let the young ones know what they're doing. So I think this particular program that we're trying to create for the elderly is really to try to narrow the intergeneration gap, so that we're all in a common sharing space.
That's
That's
interesting. Many people would think that technology divides the generation. You, on the other hand, are trying to see how they can come together, use it as
yeah.
a platform to bridge internet generation gap. I also like your tagline, connecting the young ones to the young ones. Initially,
Yes.
when you mentioned it, I thought there was a little pronunciation error. But to think of it, ONES and ONCE, wow, that's really beautiful as a tagline. And I wish you all the best and success in what you can achieve in bridging the gap between the different generations. There
Thank
you have it,
you.
audience. This is a wonderful presentation on how learning is made available regardless of age, right? Whether you're young, whether you're old. In fact, the whole learning space, if we deploy it properly, and like what Miss Lee had said, right, you can put in all your best effort, and if you have the wrong tools, it's not going to help you achieve any results. On the other hand, if you know how to use the right tools and put it together, the young and old can be bridged, and the internet generation gap will probably be reduced further and allow us to live together with the help of technology. So far we've listened to different speakers, right, from the future workforce to how technology can be used to enable more personalized learning. And then we looked at how the young and the old can come together and learn computational logic for the kids. Very interesting topic and a very interesting promise for the future. So thank
Thank
you,
you.
Miss Lee, once again. And
Thank you.